Of Rockford's Ethnic Heritage Museum reveals its newest exhibit highlighting Black History Sunday. Each year features a new theme, and this year it is how Black people voted and their impact on politics. The We Voted exhibit features a former President Barack Obama quilt made in part by Booker Washington Community Center students in 2010. There's also President Hoover and Eisenhower campaign buttons. This display will run through the end of April. David Ruffin with the gallery shares what he hopes people take away from the exhibit.
How much we accomplished here in the community, some of our assets that we've brought to the community, just an overall view of what we've done and what we could do in the future.
To celebrate the exhibit's unveiling Sunday, former Rockford City Council member Victory Bell was there to sign his book. Bell is the first Black person elected to office in Rockford.